Coming to you live from the rinks in Oppog, you're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League here and only on LI Sports Network. Ryan Brannigan, joined alongside Brady Campbell, and of course to my right, our cameraman, Wally Mitchell, helping us out also with some technical stuff. He is the best to do it. And tonight we're going to see two teams that were at the top of the JV division just a year ago is taking a spill during warm-ups. Sachem's goaltender, I believe this is Logan Martinez, or pardon now, it was Giovanni Mazzara. Either way, Sachem have those two goaltenders in addition to Michael Walsh. Walsh who had some play last year for the JV team. And so Brady, with these two heavy hitters colliding so early in the season, what can we expect here tonight?
Well, we could expect a phenomenal game. Both these teams, not only some of the top two teams in the JV division, they both happen to be the semifinal losers, if you will. They both fell in their respective semifinal matchups. Of course, there's ESM defeating Smithtown Hauppauge last season. Smithtown Hauppauge now has two JV teams. But back to this matchup, two phenomenal squads have done battle time and time again. The offense is there, the defense is there. They're sound at every phase, every aspect of the game. They're probably two of the most evenly matched teams in the junior varsity division, and it would not surprise me if this one comes right down to the final seconds.
Now, you mentioned last season for Sachem, it ended in heartbreak, a 4-3 overtime loss in the winner-take-all semifinal game. It was Luke Anderson of Smithtown Hauppauge who ended Sachem's season in overtime. On that team, of course, you had Dylan Simone, Anthony Saguna, two of the triplets, along with William Trapani, which made up for 135 points between the three of them. All three have moved on and are no longer on the JV team. However, of course, reinforcements coming from the freshmen and developmental teams, as well as some holdovers from last year for Sachem, look to continue what last year's team could not and get a championship at the JV level. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ice, again, it'll be two separate JV teams for St. Anthony. That's just how good and deep they are. This team will be the St. Anthony's gold team. Their other, St. Anthony Black. They had the same setup last season. And on St. Anthony's gold, we have the likes of Jake DeAndrea, Liam Becker, Jack Hurlbert, Cooper Ferrara. All names who have played for either the JV teams of last year or their freshman counterparts as they continue to build their phenomenal program, which has really been dominant since their existence.
Absolutely, they have been. And on the other side as well, for Sachem, a lot of guys moving up from their freshman team that we've seen and become especially aware of within the last season. Patrick Loeb, Tyler Payton, Zachary Weltman, Declan Kane, Jack Mitchell, the former captain of that team as well. And so these guys have a lot of familiarity with each other, but there's of course some new faces from different leagues and different divisions, I should say. And it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. Of course, only night 2 for the Suffolk County High School Hockey League, night 1 for these guys. So I'm sure the adrenaline's pumping and they're all ready to go.
Between the pipes tonight for St. Anthony, it will be number 33. That's Peter Frankaitis. And to my left, between the pipes for Sachem, will be Michael Walsh. As Sachem break from their bench, St. Anthony's starting 5 already awaiting them at the faceoff. And the last thing we need to get this party started is the puck drop. And we do see number 20, Tyler Patton, starting tonight. And it's an emotional game for him as his grandfather, who has been here in attendance for every single game, cannot be tonight. He's listening on LI Sports Network, and he gives him all the best. And so we're, with a heavy heart, rooting for Mr. Patton as someone whose grandfather was in attendance for every single game that I have ever played. I can fully relate. Bit of a delay here. Not sure why, Brady.
Well, one of the linesmen talking with Sachem goaltender down their end of the ice. I believe that's Michael Walsh.
It is Walsh.
Other than
Walsh
that,
going to the bench.
don't really know what's going on.
His helmet's up.
Maybe an issue with the ice in the crease.
I think it's the helmet.
I really don't know for sure. You might be right as he's taking it off. Looks like the coaches are checking it out now.
Oh. Loose buckle. Delaying the suspense of the puck drop here. Talked about Sachem's loss. St. Anthony went down 3-0 to ESM in their semifinal game. JV Gold, that is, from St. Anthony. Before Liam Healy scored twice. Healy no longer on the St. Anthony JV team. And that created some suspense in that one. However, holding on to secure the victory were the Sharks, and they, of course, go on to become JV champs, first of their existence for ESM as a team, their first championship.
First championship in general. And boy, was that team good. And some of those players potentially moving up. Maybe ESM even gets a varsity team soon, but that town is making its way into this league, that's for sure.
Unfortunately, I checked, I said, would they be going to varsity? And having seen a bunch of their players disperse throughout the varsity ranks, they unfortunately do not have the horses for a varsity team. It's a expensive sport, as we all know, as you all know listening, I'm sure. And it's tough to sometimes find the amount of quality players to put together a varsity team. ESM, very close. They have a memorable run at the JV level. Again, represented by districts such as Riverhead out there. Of course, Eastport, South Manor. Along that east end of Long Island,
Still very good to see that the players from that team still have an opportunity to play at the varsity level.
Oh, absolutely.
And with some of these other teams as well, get acquainted with new teammates, new players as they move up in their young hockey careers, however long that may take them. As you mentioned, long delay here.
Yeah, they're continuing to talk
for a goalie mask
on the Sachem bench. West Islip JV, they're 1-0, along with East Islip. A 6-1 victory for West Islip over Ward Melville last night. And for East Islip, a 7-3 victory against the Northport Huntington Tigers. And for a West Islip team who did not have many victories a year ago at the JV level, start 1-0, and are currently in first place. Looking to join them with a victory to start the season are both of these teams. St. Anthony Gold, Sachem, wearing the silver, gold, and white. And it looks like we are finally set to begin, although Walsh's helmet's still off, so I want to temper my own expectations, as we've had quite the build-up here, Brady.
Well, this game, I'm sure it's going to live up to the hype, but I mean, we're running out of steam up here in the booth. I think we've said everything we have to say other than the game itself. Looks like he's ready to go now, though.
Well, to take the face-off, how about that? For St. Anthony will be Jack Hurlbert, and he'll be taking the draw from Sachem's Zachary Hesse. So Hesse against Hurlbert, 6v6, we're underway. An early possession for the Friars. Sending it in is Engelhardt. Around the board it goes. To the far corner. The battle ensues. Pops back out to the point for a wrist shot that gets blocked and steered out of harm's way, but not quite. Taken back over. Chance for Vaith. He'll Slide it to the other corner, the near corner. And back up top, Hurlburt lets one go, and a glove save for Walsh.
Boy, quick start for the Friars here in this opening shift. Looks like both teams have their legs, but we especially saw Vaith right there nearly. Had a nice move, just couldn't quite handle the puck to get the shot away.
So face off to the right of the Sachem netminder, 1-for-1. In terms of puck stopped and puck's face. Little move, nice play, Hesse. Hesse breaks out, potential 2-on-1 if he's got the legs. Hesse, shot, blocker save made, rebound, sticked away. First action, Frankaitis is seen, and he makes his first stop as well. Good rush up the ice for Hesse. Now it's St. Anthony's turn. In Hurlburt, working his way up the near side. Couldn't get around Krush. Krush, a freshman. Tear up as he goes from freshman to JV. As Sachem have iced the puck. 13:59 to go first period. Just over 2 minutes gone by. And
Quick
still no
start.
score. Yeah,
Quick
a lot
start,
of pace.
up and down.
It's almost as if the teams were ready to go and then had to wait like 10, 15 minutes.
They haven't lost a step, though.
A lot of energy to expend. Puck free, wrist shot, glove save made by Walsh. As that shot originated off the stick of Liam Becker.
Maybe I just saw it wrong. It looked like it may have almost deflected ever so slightly off the defender.
I think you're right. I think it
Glove
did.
Stop.
Face off to the left of Walsh. One by Ratigliano. Sent around the boards by Jack Mitchell. And Sachem able to clear. Another big hit along that near side. St. Anthony's working right back in. Shot blocked. Caught up in the skates there of the Sachem defender, DiPietro. That's a name hockey fans will know pretty well.
All too well.
All too well. Chance and a glove save made by Walsh as he denies Nicholas Muller.
Walsh has had to be pretty good so far. A few good looks for the Friars. A couple glove saves for Michael Walsh thus far as well. But Friars starting just how they wanted to. Really doing everything but getting one in the back of the net just yet.
Sachem struggling a bit to get the puck out of the zone. They do so here with Ilg. Ilg 3-on-2 over the blue line. Gets crunched into the boards. Big hit delivered by Veith. Rolls back down behind the St. Anthony net. That's where the Friars look to break out. Another big hit. This one dished out by Sachem's Ilg. Shot there, and it's a glove save again made by Walsh. This time he denies Ryan Schechter, wearing 22.
I gotta say, even for a JV game, it seems. We've seen varsity and some of the pace and how those guys fly up and down the ice. JV obviously not much different, but even this for JV feels very fast.
Well, you go from developmental to JV. It's
Maybe
quite the
that's
leap.
why.
Veith goes D to D. Wrist shot over the net. Letting that one go was Coletti, 27, I believe, back there. Or no, at 20, Griffin Gasparic. Meanwhile, that pass, and Feely dishing out a clean hit in the neutral zone. But nevertheless, St. Anthony back on the puck. They look to move it in. Rejecting it there. Wearing 00 for Sachem was Loeb, Patrick Loeb. Here's Portanova. Banking one off the wall and using his speed to break out. It's Jack Mitchell flying up the ice. Left the puck behind him. Good defensive play made by the Friars. Sachem have to reset. In the neutral zone, they'll look to do just that. Hunter with Kane. Hunter retrieving the puck. That dangerous pass looking for Patton, nearly intercepted. And just poked into the neutral zone. Resetting are the Friars. Hurlburt will rim it around the boards. Walsh to stop the puck behind his net. That's where Sachem pick it up. And again, look to break out. Pass just behind Patton. Tyler Patton. By far the tallest member of the Sachem team. Here's Hurlburt going the other way. Hurlburt, good pass, just rolled off the stick of Engelhart. Back to the point shot, never got through. Loose puck will be picked up and backhanded out by DiPietro. Hesse had it knocked off his stickers. Kane. 11:10 to go. First period, no score between the Friars and Sachem advised the puck. So face-off back down by Walsh, who looks to remain perfect.
Even Sachem, they finally have gotten it out of the zone, but not very far. We saw moments ago Mitchell. Looks like he had a step for a moment, and the closing speed of the Friars really on point so far here tonight.
Retigliano took the draw for Sachem. A 50-50 draw, bounces behind the net. Kept in the zone by Rivchero. And that will slide past Muller all the way down and become another icing against the silver and gold. So we'll reset, do it all over again. I mentioned earlier in the game, it seemed like Sachem were struggling a bit in their own zone, going from their own zone to the offensive zone in the transition game. And those breakouts are so important, Brady.
Could be the difference between a win and a loss.
Monteleone off the post and in. It scores. The Friars are on the board. A point rip from Michael Monteleone. 1-0.
Let's see this one again. Face-off win back to Monteleone. Has plenty of time. He sets up, waits for traffic in front, uses it off that far post glove side and in. And it definitely looks like Walsh had no idea where that shot was when it was coming.
Such a high IQ move, waiting for the shot. Quick drive from Ill goes high and wide. Feely will play it down low as Sachem look to respond. Getting some much-needed offensive zone time. Kalber lets one go, and a left pad stop made by the Friar netminder Frankaitis. Back now on the far side of the ice, looking to break out the Friars, kept alive by DiPietro only for the moment. And now breaking out St. Anthony, and doing so is Adriana Morabito. Along the near side wall. Ilg trying to chip it out, does. Morabito will hand it back to the defenseman Leighton Veith. Veith, nice move, in comes Veith. To the backhand, trying to get around DiPietro. DiPietro swept it to the far ball. Another collision. Sachem player goes flying. That one off the wall. Dribbling puck will have just enough for icing. So again, Sachem, they'll get it changed because that's not a rule here at the SCHSHL. But this is where they ran into trouble just moments before, Brady.
Yeah, they've been knocked back on their heels to start the first 5.5 minutes of this hockey game. It hasn't been anything disastrous. They played some pretty good defense, but somewhat lucky that only one has gotten in so far.
Rip from Coletti gets blocked. Padden along the near wall, trying to make a play on it. Oh, Sachem will just settle for chipping it out. Coletti once more, flipping it off the far side. We'll get it back. Pressure coming from Sachem. Time in the form of Krush. And now St. Anthony have iced the puck. So offensive zone draw for Sachem with a little over 9 minutes to go here in the first. 1-0 St. Anthony.
In this game, we talked about the pace when the action has been going on, but I do have to say it's been a bit choppy with several icings so far and a lot of whistles. See if both teams can get that sorted out. The coaches probably don't mind it too much. Don't want the game to get too crazy.
Nope. Face-off 50-50 draw. Eventually the Friars come out of it with the puck. Portanova dishing out a hit to try to keep it in, but strong effort from Rivchero pushes it into the Sachem man. Another big hit, that time Padden laying out. The blow good, stick handling, a shot deflects over the net. Nice play there from the goal scorer, Monteleone. Portanova will just backhand one into the middle, intercepted Monteleone. His shot blocked, good play there by Padden. Padden's pass off a skate right onto the stick of Hesse. Hesse walks, wrister over the net. Strong wrist shot from Hesse. St. Anthony going the other way. Hurlbert, 3-on-3 aside, over the blue, puts one to the middle. And it could find his intended target, Engelhardt. To the line, not out, held in for the moment. Nice play there from Gasparic. Gasparic denied by Walsh with the right pad. Engelhardt pushed behind, trying to flip that one out. We're the silver and gold, unable to do so at the line. Another shot, deflection, loose out in front and ripped just wide. Still available along that near wall, it's still loose. Whipped back wide again with the shot was Engelhardt. Trying to get it somewhere to safety. Sachem just need a stoppage here.
What a shift here in the offensive zone.
Kane fanning on his rim around attempt. It's to the line, and this one does get past Gasparic.
What a shift.
Kane brings it over the line. Shot gets partially blocked, saved, and stretching out to cover up was Frankaitis. And Sachem lucky it's still a one-goal game, Brady.
Absolutely. What a sequence. And you saw whenever the puck went off to the corner, Sachem would have a chance to clear, and St. Anthony's using the body, not letting Sachem get out easily or even at all there. What a phenomenal sequence there for the Friars. As you said, Sachem lucky.
A great puck retrieval from the Friars. Sends it in on goal, right into the glove of Walsh, who's content to just cover up. And St. Anthony mentioned going in the depth of their organization. One of their two teams in the JV division. Face-off one in the defensive end by Sachem. Retigliano takes a hit. Moved along the wall. Feely coming over. Scrum ensues. 3 Sachem players to St. Anthony. And St. Anthony's come away with the puck. Backhand pass blocked. Good defense in front of their own net from Sachem, and carrying it out through center is Retigliano. Retigliano absorbing a hit dished out from Vaith. Sachem tried to get something going here in the offensive zone. Kalber had it roll off his stick, so he just has to just send it right back around. It's Loeb. Just gets off, slides off the stick of Loeb and out of the zone. Tough break for Sachem there. Becker pushed it back for Vaith. And St. Anthony will organize in their own zone with just over 6 minutes to go here, first period. With speed up the near side, Schechter. Schechter lost it to Ilg. Ilg sent it across. Trouble, though, unable to handle it was DiPietro. Around it comes, it's Morabito. She'll reverse it. Cycle continuing. Portanova had it, lost it. Stuff in try at the side of the net, and Walsh covering up with the blocker.
Another good shift in the O-zone from St. Anthony's. Tell you what, down the other end, not much going on. Peter Frankaitis got to start getting a bit bored down there with the whistle. He's taking his laps.
Such a clean setup he's got with the leather-colored blocker and glove, I gotta say. Along the far wall, both teams struggling to get true possession of the puck. Morabito and Portanova battling. Here's Hesse. He'll collect in behind his own net. Come out the other way. Pass for Padden behind him. He'll slow it down, but not much more. And Coletti taking a big hit as he tried to get the puck in. Slow to get up. Meanwhile, just a struggle to get possession of the puck right now for either team. St. Anthony were offside. They touch up. They're good. Chero crunched into the boards by Portanova, who backhands it around. Nice little pass there. Springs Padden. Padden just couldn't settle it down. And it's right back in possession of the Friars. Right off the glass behind Walsh and popping back to the point. Another long shot. Deflection. Scores! Right out in front. It was Reeve Chero who got a piece of the puck and doubled St. Anthony's lead. They're up 2-0.
This is a tough break here for Walsh. Clearing attempt. It's probably got to get out if you're Sachem. Phenomenal keep, though. Pretty good job tying up, but not enough. And he just gets a stick on it. Could be one Walsh will want back, though. Obviously, a redirection is no easy task to stop. But it was kind of a slow developing play.
Yeah, Jackson Krusch out in front. Probably wants to get a little bit better body positioning there to try to take away that play out in front. Either way, 2-0. St. Anthony JV Gold leading Sachem on what is both of their teams' opening nights. Jack Mitchell. Nice move. Mitchell has it poked off his stick by Herbert. He'll reverse. Back to the point. Slap shot from the point is pad save made by Frankaitis. Sachem trying to get something going here. Last 4 minutes of the first period, down by 2. Good rush up the ice that time from Gasparic. Has it knocked off his stick. Kane in the corner. Battling Engelhart. Engelhart joined by Muller. Sachem throw it around. It's Wellman. Coming together. Helped out by Retigliano. Retigliano, nice move, staying on his feet. Now turns on the Jets, looking for a pass. Got one! Shot, save made! Great stop made by Frankaitis on Giacomo.
Absolutely. How about that pass, too? The saucer right on the tape. And somehow able to get that shot away.
Pass goes through the crease. Another deflection shot save. Rebound save. Walsh. Another try. Would it go? Oh, Walsh coming up big for Sachem. Now they have a chance going the other way in transition. Pass too far for Ilg. And so that'll evaporate quickly. Under 3 to go in the first. DiPietro struggling to possess the puck in the corner. Centering feed intercepted. Sachem can come out the other way. It's Loeb. And we're in 0-0. Loeb trying to get a shot through. Instead, it's blocked partially by Vaith. Ilg keeps the cycle going behind the net. Now back up top, DiPietro. Shot partially blocked, came to Loeb. Oh, where to go? Rebound, Ilg off the side of the net as Frankaitis scrambled to get back. Ferrara can't clear and getting thrown to the ground that time. DiPietro looked more like a throw than a check, but it was effectively both. I'm not sure.
Either way, Vaith has come to play tonight, that's for sure.
Weaving his way around Anthony Catazone, so he eventually runs into some trouble. Turn the puck over. Here's Morabito as the Friars got it back to Catazone. Streaking down the near side, Catazone will carry in. Catazone from a sharp angle, that deflected off the stick of Krusch over the net. Hunter unable to play it out. And now Kalberer will carry. Kalberer has hit removed off his stick by Adriana Morabito. And she'll get it over to Monteleone to open the scoring. That home run pass gets knocked down. Here's Hesse dangling at the line. Hesse, though, couldn't get through all 3 Friars, so back the other way it goes. Catazone by himself. That shot over the net. Hunter couldn't quite make a play on it. Now back for Loeb. Or pardon me, that's Padden. Padden pass just glancing off the stick of Hesse, so no icing. Hesse trying to gain possession in the corner. Has to fight through 2 Friars at the moment. And now Hunter joins in assistance in that battle. Friars do get it out with 35 to go in the first frame. Krusch off the far wall. Took a weird bounce, comes all the way back. Portanova gets over there and will steer it around the boards. Not out. Held in for the moment by Gasparic, who will rim it around once more. Behind the net, Portanova backhands it. Looking to clear. Wellman trying to play it to himself. Wellman just unable to reset. Take it back the other way. Veith. Veith goes down. And now settling it for Sachem. And that'll do it. Was DiGiacomo. 2-0 Friars after 1. It was a very fast-paced up and down first that was mostly dominated by the Friars.
Absolutely, and Sachem had a couple good shifts down the other end, but when they did, it really just goes to show how good St. Anthony's was in that period, and they definitely deserve to be ahead.
So 2-0 after one. You're listening to LI Sports Network's coverage of the Suffolk County High School Hockey League. Brady Campbell, Ryan Brownigan. We'll be right back in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Rinks and Hop Hog. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League here on LI Sports Network. 2-0 after one in favor of St. Anthony Friars. So Brady, for Sachem, what are some adjustments you look for them to make here for the second period? And I don't know if there's any adjustments that St. Anthony have to make.
Yeah, not much for the Friars. For Sachem, I think one area that they definitely could be better in is clearing the puck and their outlet passes. The forwards have to obviously help out their defense, but the second goal was a failed clear that led directly to the shot that was redirected past Walsh. And I believe the first one, it was right off an offensive zone faceoff, may have been right after an icing. So either way, Sachem's definitely got to clear up some areas.
That is absolutely correct. Reeve Chero from Coletti, the second goal, and Monteleone from Muller, who won the draw, was your first goal. Sachem have it in the offensive zone, but don't possess the puck, so the Friars look to break out, something they have done well thus far in the game. And that pass in the skates of Coletti eventually rolls onto the stick of Mitchell. Mitchell, I would say, one of the more noticeable Sachem players in that first period. As rushes up the ice. Ferrara getting that one ahead to Liam Becker. And Kane will steer it ahead. That, with the exception of Walsh. Walsh was, I would say, Sachem's best player in that period. Here's a good play from Ilg. Ilg also had a couple of chances. But again, few and far between compared to that of the Friars. Ferrara looking to make some noise. Check from behind from Kane, who will take over the puck. Loeb gets bumped into a time by Catazone. Catazone tries to clear, intercepted by Loeb. Loeb walks in, wrist shot, scores! Patrick Loeb gets Sachem on the board early in the second. It's 2-1.
Catazone stands him up at the red line, wins the puck battle, and then just a no-look errant pass there. Loeb takes advantage right back, time, room, and then the best sound in sports, ping, off the pipe and in. And a huge answer, exactly what the doctor ordered for Sachem.
Absolutely, really Sachem's first shot, I think it was their first shot of the second period, finds the back of the net. And just like that, it's a one-goal game. You know, 2 goals. They say, what is it, the 3-goal lead's the worst lead in hockey? I'd say it's probably the 2-goal lead, if not the 1-goal lead, but that's what we have here. So St. Anthony, 2-1. Sachem quickly on the board here in the second. Pass D to D, here's Gasparic. Gasparic trying to navigate through, puck rolled away from him, and DiPietro will bank ahead. Banked right back, past the stick of Padden by Monteleone. And good move through the neutral zone by Hesse, and his shot denied. Swallowed up right on the logo, the SA logo, by Frank Cadis.
You could start to sense it a little bit. That goal was big for Sachem. It's incredible what a goal can do. It did not play great the first period or so, and you come out here 2 minutes into the second, you have a goal, and that was a great follow-up shift for Sachem.
Well, there's a reason hockey games aren't just 20 minutes long. Face-off 50-50 draw, clear breakout here for Hurlburt. Hurlburt taking it on the backhand. Around he goes the Sachem net. To the point, wrist shot blocked off the skate of Hesse. Trying to put it right back out in front of the Friars, unable to do so. Coletti just able to hold in that time. And now on the stick of Padden. Padden had it knocked off his stick. Rolls deep. Walsh playing it to his defenseman who knocks it up off the ice and out of the zone. Here's Hesse picking up speed in the neutral zone. Carrying in 1v5, scores! How does that happen? 2-2, Hesse, a one-man army.
Wow. This is probably one that he's going to want back. I mean, it's a 1v5, as you mentioned. Now, he had to have been screened somewhat. That's just a great job of Hesse using the defender as a screen. He was in by himself. What better play? Nothing else you really can do
Brady,
than throw it on net.
That looked like a free position, or what's the terminology in soccer? You have like a free kick that looked like, the way they were all together in a line. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that. And then for it to go in.
Never really seen it in hockey. Yeah, looked like discussion at the St. Anthony's bench maybe if it went in, but it definitely did. It popped out quickly. It was a perfect shot by Hesse. And now we got a brand new game.
It's tied up. Ran out for long. St. Anthony score. It's 3-2, Englehart. Just seconds after Sachem tie it, it's 3-2.
Boy, that was quick. Look at this, turns into basically an odd-man rush down low. Englehart just drives to the goal and slides it 5-hole. Walsh just didn't get enough of it, and it looks like on the replay as well, Ryan DiGiacomo kind of slowed up there. He could have tied up Englehart. He slowed up just a little bit. That allowed Englehart to get in too close and get the shot away. And St. Anthony's right back up.
Let's catch you up on some scoring. So Loeb from Kane at 13:46. Hesse from Hunter at 12:12. And it says 10 seconds later, Englehart from Chiro. Chiro's second point of the game. 3-2 St. Anthony. Slowing things down for Walsh. I appreciate that. 11:45 to go.
Everyone take a breath.
Yeah.
That first period was, not obviously it had 2 goals, but they kind of happened early on and it was slow. Only one team was really having the chances. This one, suddenly back and forth, and you got to stay on your toes, Ryan, because you never know when the puck's going to go in.
You can't take your eyes off this one, not even for a second. Is right off the draw, another save made by Walsh. Shot from the point goes wide off the stick of Monteleone. That shot deflected twice and eventually wide, last touching the stick of Becker out in front. Sachem will break out, hops just over the stick of Loeb. He got the second period scoring party started for Sachem with a posted-in goal. 2 goals happened then after, and we're not even 5 minutes through. Monteleone ahead for Liam Becker, sends in. Walsh stopping it. Kalberer trying to backhand it, turns it over. Backhand shot out and tight from Ferrara, stopped by Walsh.
Now St. Anthony's started to lose the momentum, but they get that goal to go right back ahead. And had a pretty good shift there, pretty good chance. Not much of an angle, but just doing all he can to try and stuff that one home. Good effort that time by Becker.
And so it seems St. Anthony taking back some of the momentum they might have lost at the start of the period. Wrist shot from the point blocked. A good block that time from Hunter. Now controlled by Veith. Veith for Jake DeAndrea. DeAndrea gains space and will bank it into the Sachem end. Portanova wraps it around the boards, cut off by Gasparic. Gasparic coming down from his point position. Hard work along the corner. 3v2 in favor of St. Anthony. There was potentially a hand pass, but retouched up by the initiator of the hand pass, Gaspar, so we're all good. Puck finally comes out of the corner. A nice move. Gasparic just unable to get it to a teammate or shot through. Sachem working it the other way. Hesse surviving the check. Has it on his backhand using the speed. Hesse in. Shot safe. Rebound. Patted. Yo! Stopped by Frankaitis.
Well, how about this period from Hesse? Uses the speed, gets by 2. How about one more? Knows he has to get the shot off quickly, though. Great first save, and it didn't get to Patton in enough time. If you get that shot away quickly, that'll allow Frankaitis to slide over.
An incredible athleticism shown by Frankaitis there as he's able to get over to make the stop. Shot off the draw from DiPietro, denied by Frankaitis. Hurlburt the other way, strong on the puck. Carries it in, surviving checks. Great pass across. Engelhardt kicked away by Walsh. Right back to Catazone, who shot it just wide. Engelhardt reverses. Picked up by Chero. Chero trying to fight his way through. Puck out in front, bouncing around and just missed the intended target, Engelhardt. Sachem take it over. It's Mitchell to Retigliano. 3-on-2 over the line. Retigliano, a wrister, low blocker, stopped by Frankaitis. Mitchell in the corner. Comes together. Retigliano. We came together with Hurlburt, the captain. Calber with Hurlburt draped all over him. Puck is behind Calbert. I don't think he or Hurlburt were truly aware of that. DiPietro trying to sashay his way out of the zone. Mitchell. Now for Calber. Calling for it and receiving it, Retigliano. He'll move it in on the forehand. Retigliano shot low, pad save made. Frankaitis. Mitchell wheeling back to DiPietro. Great pass. Cruz long shot touch, went wide. Loose puck. Eventually settled by the Friars, and they break out. Up and down the ice we go. Muller trying to get around. DiPietro does slide it out in front. They score! Catazone buries the beautiful feed. It's 4-2 St. A's.
Boy, some of these goals by the Friars tonight have just been things of beauty. So the passing, look at this, vision, eyes up. Actually swings it off of Walsh and plays the angle perfectly. And right out to Catazone, who made no mistake with the shot.
That's a tough break for Walsh there as you're preparing for a potential low shot. Instead, it's kind of a pass. You can't get your stick on it to redirect it where you want to. And instead, it goes right. It's right onto the stick of Catazone, who makes no mistake. And so the first 2 goals belong to St. A's. The next 2, Sachem. The following 2, St. A's. Will the trend continue? Silver and gold get into the zone. The black and gold trying to regain possession. Instead, back to the point. First shot from Portanova, deflected just wide. Feely reverses, pass to Ilg. Scooping it up on the far side and carrying it out, Monteleone. And banked in, Monteleone. Plays it on the backhand. Challenged by Portanova. Reverses, good play. And running into a tight spot there, Jake DeAndrea. Here's Morabito on the far corner. She'll get checked, and now Lowe breaks out. 2-on-2, great pass. Feely is in. Feely to the forehand, scores! Backhand, forehand, beauty! And we're tied. Or no, it's a 1-goal game, 4-3.
Boy, watch this. Perfect pass. Feely turns on the Jets. Goodbye. And as we know, no easy goaltender to beat, but he's patient with it. Good fake. And all he has to do from that point on, slide it into the empty net.
Well, it's not tied. It's 4-3. favor of St. Anthony. This game has been a cardiac of a game where it's really been quite relentless. And this second period in particular, as we've already seen our fourth goal of the period. Fifth goal of the period. Hunter. Deflecting it into the zone. St. Anthony trying to settle things down, although this game does not know what settle down means. Kane. On that far wall. Hesse lets it bank to himself. Couldn't get a shot through, though. Fan on the first attempt, blocked the second. Hurlbert the other way, challenging Calberer. Centering feed, knocked away. Puck still loose and shuffled just wide by Reeve Chero. Back onto the stick of Veith. Veith goes D-to-D with his partner Coletti, who returns it to Veith. 5:47 to go here in the second. It's 4-3 in favor of the Friars. Patton in his skates, still loose and available on the backhand. Trying to go back door, and way to stay with it by Kane there. Saving potentially a goal as Engelhardt was right there on the doorstep. Long shot, never got through. Blocked and skated to center by Hesse. Hesse forced to put on the brakes, now sends in. Catazone, most recent Friar goal scorer, up for Ferrara. Ferrara enters the zone and comes right back to him. He'll wrap it around. DiPietro behind his net, playing it off the wall. Good little stick lift by Wellman. Here's Ritigliano on the backhand. Pass block, comes right back to him. Has DiPietro open on the point. Shot, didn't get all of it, and goes wide. Back the other way. St. A's, Liam Becker. Liam Becker trying to go to the backhand. Great job taking the body there from Jack Mitchell. Still, though, it's Becker. Both players go down. No penalty. DiPietro will skate it out for Sachem. Long shot goes wide. And Catazone circles back in his own end. That's off the glass. Will it have the legs for icing? It will. And so an icing against the Friars. As the last 2 minutes, Brady, what's wrong? There hasn't been a goal.
Yeah, I was almost falling asleep back here. That was maybe the slowest 2 minutes or so of the game. It felt like not too many chances either. But
oh, check this out.
4 minutes left in this period. The crucial 4 minutes in this game.
So you're gonna say our bad on the icing. There's no icing. Drop it at center. Won by the Friars. Past the stick of Krush. Krush will be the first on it. Fires around, hoping for Loeb. Loeb just gets his stick there in time. Another puck race, and that puck ends up in the penalty box, the Sachem penalty box, right next to one of the backup goaltenders, that being Giovanni Mazzara. And so 3:50 left here in the second. A very eventful second period at that. Gasparik finds Engelhardt, tries to weave around Loeb, does, and now a nice little punch pass over to Chero, but Chero had it removed from his stick. Feely trying to work his way through, the most recent goal scorer for Sachem. That goal, by the way, Feely from Loeb, Loeb's second point of the evening. Along the far wall, going down to the ice was Veith. Sachem trying to get something going, but the pass was behind its intended target, Feely. Krush, good lead feed for Loeb. Loeb trying to go to the backhand, and excellent defense displayed by Veith, Leighton Veith. Puck moved to the far corner. Ahead for Chero. Chero, Hurlburt trying to get around Krush. Does. Hurlburt holding to the blue line. Back down low. Hurlburt once more. Two Sachem players joining him along with a Friar. And waiting for it potentially along the blue, near the blue line and creeping in is Vaith. It is Sachem and Hesse who emerge with the puck into open space. Trying to work his way through there was Mitchell. And it's sent in by Sachem. 2:10 to go here in the second. As things finally slow down, 4-3 in favor of the Friars. Padden trying to get there. Here's Hesse making a move at the line. Hesse looking for some space to dump in, finally does. Padden receiving and moving in as Becker scores! Liam Becker makes it 5-3 in favor of the Friars.
Well, we said this would be a crucial 4 minutes in this hockey game to close out the second period. It was a one-goal game for much of the second half of this period. And some miscommunication there on the back end by Sachem leads to that breakaway, and great edge work as well. He was facing his own goal when he picked up the puck, being able to turn around and just have enough speed to get there and parry the shot low glove.
Shot denied with the glove of Frank Cadis. They're saying it was 6, not 9. Was that number 9 or number 6, Brady? Do you recall on that last one? I thought it was 9.
It's hard to tell.
Becker.
Take another look perhaps during the intermission.
Sachem a chance. If live stats is wrong, they usually correct it pretty quickly. Gasparic, though, I think does get the assist. Meanwhile, St. A's trying to get it right back in the zone. Sachem find themselves down by 2 once more, a familiar place in this game as they have trailed by 2 on 2 different occasions prior to this. 2-0 and 4-2. They've clawed back to tie once and came within 1 most recently. Padden moves in. Padden, nice little move. Shot glanced off the shin pad of Katazonen wide. And now speed from Schechter. Schechter shot off DiPietro and wide. DiPietro across on the other side. Going to break it out himself. Padden will bank it down. And Retigliano hustling after. Creates a turnover. Nice play, Retigliano. But Sachem going for a change. He doesn't have much help. Morabito. And again, Retigliano on the forecheck. Will now force an icing, but no, coming out to play it is Walsh. Interesting decision there from the Sachem netminder. Coletti. And that's how we conclude a wild second period, to say the least. We've had not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, 6 goals in that second period. 5-3 St. Anthony over Sachem. Brady, any conclusion thoughts for that second before you head into the third?
That was probably the period of the season so far. Of course, a young season, but goals, saves, you name it. St. Anthony's, though, for their side, going to want a much slower, slowed down, not as crazy, not as wild, not as many chances in the third period.
So the third, it's on its way. 5-3, St. Anthony over Sachem. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League here on LA Sports Network. Ryan Brannigan, Brady Campbell will be back for that third period just after this. We have caught our breath, we have hydrated, and we're ready for the third. Not the players, but us, the broadcasters, although the players doing the same as well. 15 minutes up on the board. St. Anthony, 5-3 heading into the third period. And for Sachem, a similar spot. They find themselves down by 2 heading into the period. However, 3 goals up on the board, they might have some more confidence. Hurlburt brings it out for the Friars into the zone, looking for that cross-ice pass, gets one, shot, glancing off the glove and over the net. Good save from Walsh. Loeb, 2 points in the game, goal and an assist, brings it over the blue line. Nice little move by Loeb. Loeb couldn't get a shot through, though. A great defensive play made by Monteleone. Put into the opposite corner. Sachem trying to retrieve. Loeb there, but good maneuver from Monteleone. Monteleone, though, unable to continue the pursuit into the zone. Puck knocked off his stick. And now Kane, or Calber, right from the bench. Lead pass Loeb. In the skates there of Feely. Feely trying to get it back. Chipped just by. Padden. Tried a nice little move, but not falling for it were the Friars. Lead pass into the skates of Hesse. And now speed in the form of DiPietro. Shot just wide. Past the blocker and pads of Frankaitis. Ferrara will send in for the Friars on goal. It's gloved and held by Walsh. And we get a stoppage, 13:25 left on the clock.
Much slower start to this period compared to the past 2, especially that second period. Not a whole lot going just yet. A few looks towards the net, nothing on goal really though. Just the way the Friars would like it at this stage.
Face-off one in the offensive zone. A low shot hit a couple of skates, maybe a stick or two before it goes wide and bounces back near Walsh, who will put his glove down on it. We'll do it all over again to the left of the Sachem netminder. Hesse to take the draw for Sachem. Trying to win it forward was Muller. Comes all the way back down out of the zone, controlled by Veith. I think Veith's had a great game on the back end for St. A's. Engelhardt will flip it in, try to get it himself. That's Muller. Muller off the outside part of the net. And Padden ahead for Hesse. Nice little move. One-on-one now. Hesse inside, outside, to the backhand. Forehand stopped by Frankaitis. But a great move by Hesse.
Looked like there may have been a little bit of daylight 5-hole. I think that was where he's trying to go. Just couldn't slide it there. Great stop by Frankaitis. And Hesse has had a great game. He's had some great looks, even turning nothing into something. Not that that chance looked like nothing, but he has some great hands.
That is for certain. And you get that in tight on the goal, it's hard to really do anything else but try to slide it 5-hole, so understood. Portanova taking the body there on Becker. Trying to force it ahead was Krusch. Ends up being a turnover as Muller knocked it down. Keeping it in along the near blue line there is Catazone. Portanova, Catazone come together in the near corner. Retigliano trying to help out for Sachem. He'll get control of the puck and skate it out. Retigliano being hounded from behind from Catazone. We get a stoppage. Believe it's an offside. And something of note, I don't think we've had a single penalty in this game, Brady.
Yeah, you're right. There hasn't really. There's been a couple, plays where a few players would go down, and maybe you could see a call coming, but really hasn't been any obvious ones.
Immaculate passing off the faceoff win from Sachem. Leads Ilg for the shot. Fanned on it out in front of the net. And a great read there by Mitchell, who dekes. Mitchell to Loeb. Shot blocked by Catazone. Kane unable to keep in and guiding it out of the zone. Jake DeAndrea intercepted by Mitchell. Mitchell trying to lead Ilg, just too far for Ilg. Comes back into the zone. Nice little move there by Schechter. Schechter backhands across, sticked away by Walsh. Sachem trying to break out quickly. Bouncing puck settled down by Mitchell, makes a nice little move. Mitchell moving in 2-on-2, has Ilg with him, gets it to Ilg, and Ilg, waiting reinforcements, just sends it around the boards. Hesse trying to hold it in along that far wall. Instead, it's St. A's who come out. 2-on-2 into the zone. Shero shot gloved by Walsh. And we get a stoppage with just under 5 minutes gone by here in the third.
Who's going to be the one to step up here for Sachem? We've seen Jack Mitchell, normally a defenseman, stepping up, making a few great plays there. A nice pass over the low, but he was defended nicely as well. And as we kind of talked about in the last game, obviously 11 minutes left. Going to have to start taking chances here if you're Sachem.
Shot from the point taken by Gasparic, blocked. The puck is just, well, that's not the puck. I believe that's a mouth guard that's sitting right in the slot. The mouth guard back with the mouth it belongs to. 10:30 or 10:51 here to go, third period. Face off to the left of Walsh, won by Hurlburt, back to the point, but it's Hesse who gets control of the puck. You see the snow build up by the benches as breaking out on that side of the ice is going to become more and more of a challenge. Sachem fire in. Nice play, Hesse, turnover, shot, glove save, rebound, score! As it ricocheted in off the man in front. I don't know who it is, I do now. It is, in fact, Justin Hunter.
Just fanning on that pass. Hesse says thank you very much. Almost got that shot to go. And the loose puck ends up behind Frankaitis, and Hunter finds the loose change. Huge goal. And once again, Sachem within one, not going away.
The devastating defensive zone turnover resulting in a goal. That's all it takes. 5-4, one-goal game. Hesse over the line. Well, the puck did not. Has to reset. Calber sends in. Briefly ricocheted off Hurlburt, and Calber must retreat back in his own zone for the puck. Ushers it across, and now Hesse, as you mentioned, Brady, has looked ever so dangerous. Hesse tried to split through everyone. He could not, but he gets the puck into the zone. He's looking for it now. It was briefly behind him in the corner. Hunter trying to help out. Padden now in the opposite corner. Plays it back to his defenseman, DiPietro. Plenty of time back there for a shot, but it's blocked. And Hurlburt comes out. Hesse back on defense, trying to make a play on Hurlburt. Hurlburt steers away from Hesse, and now the loose puck controlled by Sachem. Only for a moment. Give it right back to Hurlburt. And now off Hurlburt's stick, and Padden will steer the puck to a safe area. Engelhardt as Sachem make a quick change. Engelhardt's shot blocker save made Walsh. Engelhardt fires around. Wellman trying to be the first to it. Instead it was Coletti, but Wellman chips it by him. And now a chance for Tigliano flying through the neutral zone. Joined by Dijon. A shot and squeezing the arm together to make sure it doesn't slide through Frankaitis.
It's a good look there with Tigliano. Never a bad play to take the shot. Well, it looked like he could have got the pass through as well, which would have turned into a miniature breakaway there.
I think Retigliano has also been one of those very noticeable players for Sachem, yet to be on the scoreboard. Kept in, good play, Krusch. Sends it down the wall, Wellman trying to keep things alive along with Krusch. Wellman trying to get it to Retigliano, caught up in some skates of some Friars. They're trying to lock down those cross-ice passing lanes. Here's another one that does get through, and a shot just wide. Taken by DiGiacomo. Another long shot glances off the stick of Frankaitis, and it's the glass behind the net. Retigliano bumped into by Liam Becker, and now hustling after it, Muller. Muller, shot, steered away. Good hustle back there from Wellman, making a play on the puck. to the line, not out. Held in by St. A's. Around it goes. Nice little play in the corner and a sharp angle try. Goes off the side of the net. Friars now with some good looks in offensive zone time as we approach 7:58 and counting left here in the third. Wellman takes it away. Wellman, oh, what a great play to get back, though, by Gasparic. He went down, got up, and took the puck off of Wellman's stick. Mitchell keeps in. Retigliano trying to play it to himself and get around the defender Gasparic. Back up the wall, and it almost gets through. It does. Foot race. Kane trying to make a play on it, sliding it just wide. Was Liam Becker. Great job by Kane. It causes much damage without taking a penalty. Kane centering feed, doesn't go. And Sachem now have a chance. Retigliano with DiGiacomo. Retigliano let one fly over the top. Mitchell goes D to D, gets the return pass a little bit ahead of him. Has to try to just flip it to his winger. Mitchell trying to make a play on the puck here is Retigliano. Nice move into the zone. Retigliano slows up. Another little deke, but it's 1v4. The 4 is going to win that time. Slap shot low, denied. Came off the stick of Schechter. Flipped up the boards. DiGiacomo. Sends it through. Settled down by Coletti. Coletti connects with Schechter. Tries to return it to Coletti. Has some trouble with the puck in his skates. Feely trying to take advantage. He gets bumped. That time by Reef Chero. And the puck dribbles back into the Sachem end. A little over 6 minutes to go. Third period, 5-4 St. Anthony. They have led the entire game. They've only been tied for 10 seconds after the initial 0-0. Back in the second, it was 2-2. Here is Loeb. Over the red line, over the blue. Makes a nice little pass, but offside. Very close.
Close play, and Sachem starting to spend a bit more time in the offensive zone after getting back within one. Still got 5:38 left. And boy, this is lived up to the hype for certain, as we expected it would. You know, only 2-goal lead, 2-goal deficit several times throughout, but it never really felt like it was out of reach for either side.
Hesse, who has been prominent in this game thus far. Back to the point. Calber lets one go. Pad save made by Frankaitis. Catazone looking to break it out. Eventually comes to Hurlburt, the captain. Moves in on his backhand. Hurlburt centers. Nobody home. Back to the point off the wall. Deflection. Knocked down in front. DiPietro battling Chero. Chero lost his stick. Hesse takes over. And finally, we have, I believe, our first penalty of the game.
Hooking call coming up. We said how it have to be pretty obvious for them to call it. Did look like it was a hook, and it is against St. Anthony. So first power play to Sachem. Engelhart will sit for what he hopes is 2, with just over 5 minutes left.
Critical juncture of the game. Game's first power play. Hesse, Padden out there, part of the forward group, along with Hunter. Kane on the back end with Mitchell. And it's a quick clear for St. Anthony. Part of their penalty-killing group. That includes Cooper, Ferrara, Muller, Catazone, and along that far blue line, Monteleone. Kane trying to make a play on it. Mitchell just able to keep in. Bouncing puck settled down by Hesse. Try to get it across to Hunter, past him. Hunter off the boards, takes a shot blocked by Monteleone. He opened the score and he makes a great defensive play there. Kane to Hesse. Return to Kane. Kane makes a move at the line. Kane, shot blocked. And just out of the zone, Mitchell will take it back. Sachem have to regroup. Mitchell into the zone. Has it knocked off his stick for the moment. Great play again made by Monteleone. And St. Anthony clear. Over a minute gone by on this power play for Sachem. Patton enters the zone by himself. Sachem making a change. Leaves it for Loeb. Loeb, again, nowhere to go with it. It's sent all the way down.
Great kill so far for St. A's. Not really allowing anything towards the net so far. Couple clears.
Portanova centering feed for Loeb. Loeb drops it for Ritigliano. Ritigliano spinning out of harm's way, trying to get it back to Krush. Back with Ritigliano now. Ritigliano, backhand shot just wide. Along that far wall, nice play to himself, Leighton Veith. And now Veith has numbers, and jumping just ahead of the play was Liam Becker, who immediately turned and looked at the linesman in frustration.
Boy, that was close. I was going to say, though, he made it close. It did not have to be that close. Linesman right there. Not much you could say other than might have gotten a little too trigger happy there, jumped the gun.
Yeah, he saw the vision. It was clear that was going to be a 2-on-1 from the moment the puck crossed the red line. And Becker will take the draw. Hurlburt got kicked out. He won the draw, did Liam Becker. Battles Ilg. 1 second and 0. And the power play has been killed off. As you mentioned, great kill for St. A's. They really didn't let Sachem set up or have any quality chances. Meanwhile, it's back on the stick of Gasparek. Drag shot stopped by Walsh.
Every save at this point is massive, and of course in the next minute or so we're going to have to keep our eye on him if Sachem doesn't tie it prior to that. That was a pretty good look, and obviously he knows the situation. Nothing else can get past him.
5-4. Late stages, third period. Offensive zone draw for St. A's. Comes back to the point. A rip of a shot stopped by Walsh off the stick of Gasparek.
Ritigliano, you saw he tried to go forward. He actually won that forward, but a bit too far to pick it up. Went back to the point. Gasparek let the shot go. Another good stop by Walsh.
Ritigliano versus Hurlburt in the draw once more to the left of Walsh and winning it forward, but not going too far with it was Ritigliano. Taking it back for a shot on goal was Hurlburt. St. A's reestablished control in the corner, only for a moment. Ritigliano on his horse through the neutral zone with speed, joined by Loeb and Ilg. Try to drop it to Ilg, but it's taken back by Hurlburt. And now St. A's the other way, a 3-on-2. Hurlburt with Chero going to the net, and the pass misfired. And now Sachem can try to break out the other way. DiPietro. Bouncing puck, never could get control of it. Loeb. Trying to keep things alive for Sachem, but it comes all the way back out. Jack Mitchell. Flying. Makes a move. Inside, outside. Mitchell banks it down low with no other options left. Stuff in try won't go. A valiant effort nonetheless from Ryan Diagiacomo.
101 seconds left. It's not the guy you want to give too much space to, Jack Mitchell. Obviously, his team going for a change. Not much he could do, although we did see Sachem score a 1-on-5 situation from the outside, and now Walsh is out at the hash marks.
Kane across to Mitchell. Mitchell on the backhand. Great play by Cooper Ferrara to take it away. And a lead pass connecting with Liam Becker. Becker, long shot. And that might very well have been intentional by Liam Becker, shooting it into the chest long range of Walsh. Get the offensive zone draw for St. A's there.
Yep, make Sachem go the full 200 feet here. Obviously, if they let Sachem pull the goalie, they'd rather do it while play's going on.
Puck rolls back to Walsh off the draw, and he'll cover up. We'll do it all over again. Another couple of seconds tick off. 1:22 left here in the third. 5-4, Sachem with the lead. Or Sachem trailing, my apologies. St. Anthony with the lead. They have led it the whole way through. Slap shot misfired. Here comes Hesse with Padden. Hesse dangles on the backhand and play stops. Wow.
Walsh going back to, well, what was the offside? Because that didn't look that close from what I saw.
Wow.
I don't know what happened. Face-off at center ice here.
A face-off at center ice, I am perplexed.
Hesse would have had a great look, too, or at least could have passed it off.
And if it's offside, why not the circle? I don't know. I'm sorry, folks. I don't have the answers for you on that one. Padden in the half wall, and nonetheless, we're under 50 seconds to go. And Walsh marching to the bench. Hesse trying to get back on the puck. It's fired out of the zone, and DiPietro unable to get there in time to keep it alive. Goes to Calber, D to D. Sachem running out of time, 36 seconds. They'll send it in. Forechecking in after and trying to make a play on it. St. Anthony's get it out, but it's caught up in the linesman's skates. Calber through the feet of Hesse and into the zone, and will not be an icing. It nearly was. Leaving it for Mitchell was DiPietro. A dribbling shot goes wide. Still nothing towards Frankaitis. Hesse trying to get possession. He goes down. It's fired all the way out and wide of the empty net. And icing with 5.3 to go.
Whew. Everyone on that Sachem bench, sigh of relief there. That was close to icing it. Well, it did. It was icing. Game not quite iced just yet, though. And obviously a must-win here for Sachem.
Yeah, that play, if he doesn't try to ice it, it might have killed off enough clock to secure the win. The icing actually gives Sachem some life here. Obviously, if it goes into the net, it's over. But even if you just, put some touch on it, it's over. So some mass confusion at the Sachem bench as they're trying to figure out who is on the ice and who is not. 5.3 to go. There's 6 skaters in silver and gold out there. And the face-off bounces just over the stick of DiPietro, and that will do it. But what a game it was. St. Anthony Junior Varsity Gold open up the season with a win. 5-4 over Sachem. And what was probably the most thrilling game we have called thus far early on here in the season, Brady.
Oh, absolutely. Back and forth. Sachem, really, it all comes down to that first period where they were the more dominant team by far, led 2-0 after that first. And they had 2 more 2-goal leads throughout. Credit to Sachem. They're obviously a phenomenal team and one of the top teams as well in this JV division. And they kept bringing it within 1. They, of course, tied it for 10 seconds. But every time Sachem would come back, St. Anthony's had the answer.
Yeah, if I were to look back to a single play or single moment of the game that I think put it out of reach, I would say it was the Engelhardt goal 10 seconds after Hesse tied it in the second. St. Anthony immediately took back momentum. They would go on to score 4 minutes after that with Anthony Catazone from Muller. And so obviously there's a disliking of these two teams. We see a couple of players, obviously I assume they play on a similar travel team or have, posing for photographs on either side, and some mutual banter between the two sides as we remember it is all for fun. But with that being said, that concludes our coverage here tonight. On behalf of Brady Campbell, I'm Ryan Brannigan, joined by our cameraman extraordinaire, the greatest cameraman there was, Wally Mitchell. I am Ryan Brannigan. Once again, have a good night. Our final score tonight, St. Anthony 5, Sachem 4. Stay tuned. We have more JV action coming right your way just after this.